What is up, duelists? It is me. Well, that one duelist. As you can tell, my previous videos, I went by Duelist Legends, but I feel that was a bit too contradictory. So, I changed my profile name to That One Duelist. So, if you ever want to mention me, go by That One Duelist. That's right. Today, we have a pretty big presentation in London, Ontario, and surrounding area. We are going to be doing a branded deck with a Red Eyes style twist to it. So, without further ado, be prepared to be amazed. Alright, so here we have the deck, extra deck, the side deck, yada yada yada. As you can see, we have Red Eyes Black Dragon Sword on the top here. We'll be getting to that in a bit. So, anyways, let's get started with the main deck. Now, for the start on the main deck, we have Free Fallen and 2 Aliber. The Free Fallen is primary for all branded decks. And I got 2 Aliber in here because, well, it's not because I can't afford free, it's because I feel that in a deck where branded fusion's down to 1, we don't need to play as many Alibers. I already gave this deck a couple test shots. Maybe Aliber didn't come in up in a single one, but all the rest of the stuff did. So, yeah, I think that would be pretty good with only 2 copies of Aliber. Next up, we have 2 Cartesia, 2 Cartesia, 1 Kit, and 1 Quem, alongside 1 Mercurier and 1 Albion. The Kit is the generic fusion summoning capability. The kit is search out some of the stuff when you don't have access to an Albion, an Aliber, sorry. The Quem is the ideal dump. It can also search out your, it could also dump your Mercurier or your Albion, so you can then dump your extenders, or banish Mercurier to search out some fun stuff. And it could also bring back, say, your Mirror Jade or your other extremely powerful fusions. Alright, let's get on to the rest of the monsters. For the generic monsters, we have 1 Dark Magician, 1 Tragedy, 1 Sornier, 1 Lobellion, and 1 Magma Hut. These are just overall good. This you can go into Dragoon. This can allow you to search out your Aluber, your Sornier, and your Magma Hut are mainly used to banish the Mercurier from grave and extenders for your opponent's combos. Lobellion is to search out these 2 and to place one of your continuous spells, which of course there is only one of in this deck. Speaking of which, let's get started with those, shall we? For spells, we got Lost in red, in white, 2 opening, 1 fusion, and retribution. These are the generic branded spells and traps I placed in this deck. With fusion being down to 1, you can only play 1. So it's reasonable that we have a few other cards that allow you to enable fusion summoning. And retribution can be used to recycle your fusion. In white is just good, just straight up good. On that says you have to use a dragon monster. There's no ifs or buts about it. You have to use a dragon. Lost is extremely good in your deck combos. as it can search out any one of your Fallen Vabas related monsters from your main deck, and in turn use them to expand your combo. Opening, we have 2 because only 3 Despy monsters in the deck, and only 2 of them are what we want to summon off the opening. And opening is just pretty good. In red is just there to help expand the combo. I would recommend playing 1 to 2 of this, but I think 1 works just fine. And red's at 1 is just ideal for branded decks. Alright, let's get on with the generic spells. As I was mentioning earlier, there's some fun ones in here. We've got Foolish, Gold Sark, 2 Super Poly, Free Deployment, 1 Duplication, and 1 Thrust. This will come into further notice later. This can be used to duplicate Branded Fusion. These 2 are generic dumps for searches. Using Mercurier with Gold Star can get you any one of the good ones, and using Tragedy with Foolish can also get you some of the good ones. These 3 can be used to summon your Fallen Vabas or your Cartesia. And it could also be used with cards that would be in your side deck. Such as, for example, Albalentinus. If your opponent's playing dragons, you got Albalentinus right there. Just summon it and send your opponent's entire monster, any of their monsters, to the graveyard. And without further ado, let's get on to the hand traps. I know I said hand traps, but I meant like generic negates. Yeah. Let's get into them. We got 3 Crossout, 2 Ash, 2 Imperm, 1 Ghost Spell, 1 Veiler, 1 Nib, 1 Called By, and 1 D-Barrier. These are used to negate any of those. Like, if you want to negate these, use your Crossout. You also got 2 Imperm in here. As you could probably tell, I've been pretty content playing 1 of this, but I feel 2 adds a bit more consistency. This you can add more of, and also dump off of Crossout to negate your opponent's D barrier. Like in case they try to lock you out of fusion summoning. This is to negate opponent's monster effects up forward. And this is like, if they're playing something like Snake Eyes or something, like, mwah. Let's got Ghost Spell in here. Just negate that. Yeah, it's just kind of fun. And without further ado, let's get on to the final part of the main deck. This is where the deck gets real. And believe me, it's funny. It's just ridiculous what I put in here. Alright, for the funnies, we have Red Eyes Black Dragon, the Claw of Hermos, and Dragon Nails. This is something you can search off of Thrust and is used to summon Dragon Sword. I just love Red Eyes. Just absolutely love this monster. That's all the reasons why I can come up with it. And this is to add significance. In this tournament, we have to play at least 1 card related to Joey. So, I tried integrating it into a strategy. Because, what's a deck if there's no synergy? Am I right or am I right? Anyways, let's just get on to the extra deck. Anyways, let's get into the extra deck. We have 2 Albion, 1 Mirror Jade, 1 Renbrum, 1 Titaniclad, 1 Lubion, and 1 Albion for the branded stuff. This is just ideal for the combo to play 2 of it. As you can see in this deck, we don't play Gimmick Puppet Nightmare. However, if you want to play it, you can go right ahead. Everybody, this is a 47 card deck. You can add what you want and remove what you want. We have Titaniclad in here as well. To summon out your Quem or your Final Vabaz, and Super Poly away your opponent's entire board. Lubayan just gets this out easier alongside Dragoon. This would be used for the game of Puppet Lock, but I have no idea what we're going to use this for right now. And Rindbrum. This negates stuff. You want to negate stuff. Let's get into the rest of the extra deck. Alright, we are playing one Quem. As you can probably guess, it is good for Cartesia, and it can also dump your, let's say, Red Eyes, for example. Yeah, it's pretty good. We also have Dragoon and Black Dragon Sword. This to summon off Hermos. This to fusion summon. And that'll be it for that section of extra deck. And let's get on to the rest. Alright, for the rest of the extra deck, we have Quaterus and Chimera as just generic fusion summons. This can pop your opponent's board, and this can reduce it all down to 0. So yeah, it's just pretty good. And for the Super Poly targets, we have Mudragon, Garura, and Dragostapelia. This is just generically good, and this is just good to get rid of your opponent's stuff if you don't want him on there. And this card is just beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And with the extra deck done, you'll get onto the side deck. Alright, for the side deck, we have... I'm going to start with Light and Darkness Dragon Lord. Like the Light and Darkness Dragon, this has free negates. But this one's an Omni. Unlike Light and Darkness Dragon, has 4 negates, doesn't it? Anyways, this is an Omni, and it only has free negates. You can also special summon back a dragon, which is pretty good if you have Red Eyes Black Dragon in your grave. So then you can just summon that back and then just troll on your opponent. Next up, we got 1 talents for your own second, and you know your opponent's gonna have hand traps. Just activate this, and boom, you should be golden. Next up, we got 1 droll. Don't mean this, just don't. Put it in afterwards for your opponent's combos if they're playing a deck that runs this. And it can be easily stopped with this. Or, in my situation, run it as a cross-out target if you need to draw a bunch of cards. Next up, we have 2D Barrier, 1 Evenly, 2 Cosmic Cyclone. Personal answer, this I don't think you need to run too much of in your main deck. This I just hate, as being the one playing it. I just absolutely hate it. And Cosmic Cyclone, generic back row removal. If your opponent's playing something like Tenpai Dragon, this will come in handy. Not probably will. It will come in handy. Now, for the rest of the fusions in the side, we got Albalentinus and Magnum, the Reliever. This is just good, like when you're going up against Tenpai or another dragon-based deck, such as Dragon Link, for example. And Magnum can recycle your fusion spells. You should probably main this, but knowing me, I will not main that. We got 2 Lancia, 2 Threatening Roar, and 1 Divincarnate. Divincarnate just comes in handy when your opponent has too much nonsense on their board and interrupts all your plays, so you can just use Divincarnate to get rid of all that. Threatening Roar is good against Tenpais and when you need to stall. And Lancia is just good against banishment decks, like Ritual Beast. This gives your opponent only access to their graveyard by pitching it. With that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed. As a reminder, London Comic Con is coming up, and I'll be playing there. Shout out to Players, Cards, and Collectibles for hosting the tournament. Yeah. I will see you in the next video. Sure to like, comment if you must, subscribe, and share the video. Also hit that little notification bell to get alerts on new videos right when they're released. And with that being said, hope you guys have a great day, and bye-bye.